Shapfere Dinsang. What is happening, guys? Welcome back to Shapfere Dinsang. And I thank you so much for taking the time out to listen in to today's episode or installment or whatever you would basically want to call it. Basically, if this is your first time, coming across my channel as well as this episode, I will tell you that this is a platform where I just comment, guys. I'm a social commentator. I just talk about things that basically happen within society and things that I guess also just affect me as a South African in general, and I just kind of throw my 2 cents in there. So, and your job basically is to engage and let me know how you guys feel about these topics or these subjects that I talk about on the channel. Just a young shout out to everyone who watched the previous video. Thank you so much. And to those who also subscribe, thank you so much. And if you're watching this, subscribe. Please, I beg. Please will you subscribe. I beg, if you do actually like this video, make sure that you do. Make sure that you also engage, in the comment section down below. But also you can find me on either social media platforms, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram at @u_nombulelo, and that's where you will basically find me. Today is going to be a rather interesting episode because I didn't want to kind of mash up all these topics, but I figured because I haven't uploaded in like about a day or so, it just made more sense for me to to kind of talk about everything that's happened this past weekend, because guys, yeah, when I just know it's going to be all June, so I might as well just include everything all in one episode. And before I do, can I just please give a shout out to this this is not a paid for post or whatever, shout out, whatever, but these lippies over here. So I got this one. This is the vitamin E one. This helped me so much. Just last week I was complaining about how my lips just started swelling up in the morning, so like they usually do, same as my nose, but my lips, there was such a discomfort. And I think once I found, because this keeps disappearing also, so once I found out, I put so much on and I realized my lips were actually they were peeling. So I think it was also the new skin that was just doing funny stuff. So I actually put it on and my lips felt so much better. I actually put it on before I slept yesterday and I feel a lot better. The peeling hasn't completely, disappeared, but there's definitely a difference and the swelling isn't actually there. So shout out to this care. Back to regular programming. Today we are talking about 4 things. Okay, I think it's 4 things. We are talking about SA Hip Hop Awards and what basically happened there. Secondly, we are talking about your president who recently announced that he has tested positive for COVID. Thirdly, we are going to be talking about Lalela, who obviously went to go compete at Miss Universe in Israel, as well as Cassper and SlikeTalk. So you guys can obviously fast forward to whatever, but I would like for you guys to actually watch the entire episode. Okay. So this past weekend, I think it was it on a Friday or a Saturday, it was the South African Hip Hop Awards for 2021. And look, I used to be a Masters of Rhythm child, but I think I also kind of outgrew that phase because Masters also just died the year I kind of stopped, focusing on a lot of things. But SA Hip Hop Awards basically, was formed years later, just to obviously commemorate the impact that the genre has basically had in, the music industry. And there's so many people that often say that, hip hop is dead. No, it is not dead. It's just that people are not releasing as frequently as we'd like them to be in comparison to Amapiano, but it doesn't actually mean that it's dead. I'm just saying, so those 2 basically took place, and I actually just saw engagement on social media and how people were saying the votes were rigged, because obviously voting was obviously public, and so certain people obviously voted for their favorites, especially for artists. Is it artist of the decade? Yeah, I think it was artist of the decade. And obviously at the time in which the voting was open, it kind of looked like certain individuals, aka Aries was basically going to win. But unfortunately, he did not win for Artist of the Decade, but rather Cassper actually did. Which for me, I don't even want to dispute it, because I do feel like he has also evolved from becoming, a rapper in essence, and kind of just being flexible enough to also jump on amapiano, which I think that's also the advantage that he has amongst so many other guys within the genre. But other than that, I wouldn't really say he's Artist of the Decade, because there's other people who also, like Aries, of course, who have definitely stepped up and did best. You also have the likes of your MT. So, but unfortunately, people will only base it on just how recent someone has released music, more than the history in the genre. So one of the major winners actually at the SA Hip Hop Awards was Big Zulu. Guys, Big Zulu is my crush. Can I tell you a young story? Like, there was a time where I think I was driving to, what was I driving to? I think I was driving to Newtown for an event, and there was traffic on the M1. So Mina, I just have a love for BMWs, right? So on the side, I can see this, and I'm like, that car is sexy as hell. When I look over, was it not a Big Zulu? And I just, for a moment, I even forgot that I was driving. So that's legit how much I love that guy. I love his music as well. But I must say that Uguti, I have never actually listened to his entire album. I really only know a few songs. But from the looks of things, it seems like he was really, really, he really caught people off guard, especially people who don't really rate, Vanag rap, if I can say so, to the same level that your, English rappers kind of are rated in the country. So some of the categories that he won for were definitely digital sales. I know I had to literally write them down because there's so many. So there was an award for digital sales, Ubuntu activism. There was best video, best male, best collabo, album of the year, as well as song of the year for Ingoma Yake. I don't know what is it called, Melanin. That one, which was definitely, a massive song in the past year. So kudos to, Big Zulu, and also kudos to Aries, who also bagged a couple of wins for himself. So that is that on the SA Hip Hop Awards. I don't know who else really deserved a lot, because I know there were certain people who also said that Blackie deserved something. I'm just not too sure, because personally, I really only know 2 songs from Blackie, which is Yeah, and then there's another one that's currently on high rotation on certain radio stations at the moment. So that is that on the SA Hip Hop Awards. However, I must also put out, I feel like we need a lot more female artists, guys, within the genre. Like, a part of me wanted to disagree with the best female in that particular category, because I felt like the release of this album wasn't something that a lot of people knew about, and I wouldn't be too sure if the album even sold that many copies. And so, hey guys, asazi, and then asazi noguti how many other females actually entered that particular category. So kudos to Waiti, who took best female, and then as well as Miss Cosmo for best female DJ. So shout out to them. So the other thing that basically also took place this past weekend was the the Miss Universe pageant, which took place in Israel. And because this was something that was quite controversial for a lot of South Africans, to a point where even our government withdrew its support for Lalela, which was also just another topic for another day. I'm happy to actually announce that she placed 3rd. She was in the top 3, which is actually quite massive. And so many people congratulating her. However, the one thing that I'm still not really sure about was that outfit that she wore, the one that was resembling a dove. Let me show you. So that particular outfit, for me, it gave me, especially after seeing the post that Miss SA basically put up, and they were like, oh, the dove that represents peace, blah 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 blah. It reminded me so much of those two doves that the government kind of implemented for peace talks in the country after apartheid. It was literally giving me that, and I was not the only one who realized that. Okay, so but apart from that, like, her performance was really really outstanding, even though I wasn't really sure what to look at exactly. But I must congratulate her. I won't lie, she proved me wrong, because I really didn't think she'd actually push that far. So kudos to her, and we'll see, man. Like, as soon as she comes back to the country, we'll see how all of that is going to work out, especially considering just the opinions and the politics that had to do with her trip, and representing South Africa overseas. And then I also know that South African fashion designers also withdrew their support to dress her in the designs for that same stance against Israel, because they were trying to support Palestine. And yeah, so next up, I know we've got Shudu. Shudu is also going for Miss World, so good luck to her, and we hope she also bags a very good position. We're hoping for the winner, and so we'll definitely keep an eye out for the Miss World pageant. Hey guys, upresident wenu president wenu yazobe kakhohlwa ukuthi iCovid exist azojayiva la without imask hambile. So anyway, if you haven't heard by now, but our president is currently in quarantine and is isolating because he's tested positive for COVID. He has been traveling for quite a while, but for me also, I just feel like it just feels very very sudden and very planned that seemingly you want to also urge a lot of South Africans to basically vaccinate, and now you're coming out and saying that you've tested positive. So I really don't know what to believe, because anything is possible in this country. But we do wish the president a speedy recovery, even though there's certain debates on the timeline where people are just like, but I thought the vaccine would prevent COVID infections. No, it does not, guys. Please get educated on vaccine, on understanding what vaccines actually do. Vaccines do not cure any sort of illnesses. They just help minimize the severity of the side effects and the impact that a person would normally get. So if you're a person that's never had COVID, well, thank the heavens, but you may actually want to get vaccinated to also kind of lessen your chances of potentially being in a very dire situation. So I'm really putting it out there, because I've seen it happen within my family, and it's not cool. It's really really not cool. And then last but not least, we also then have, actually, funny enough, literally about an hour ago, I was just browsing through the net and I came across a post saying, actually not even saying, confirming that Cassper is definitely going to fight with SlikeTalk. Now, I also covered the story as well in my previous videos, but basically, SlikeTalk, who is basically a very slick talker, who literally bashes a lot of people in this country, a lot of musicians, a lot of artists, a lot of actors and celebrities, was actually put to the challenge of facing Cassper in the ring for 100k. I do think it's like 3 rounds, so each round is probably going to be about I think 3 minutes. I could be wrong, but I think it's about 3 minutes. And we'll see. So the fight is basically taking place on Wednesday the 22nd. Yeah, is it 22nd? Yeah, 22nd. Yeah, I think it. Yeah, guys, the way I don't even remember. I don't remember whether it was the 15th or the 20th. Oh, it is the 22nd, sorry. So the 22nd, on a Wednesday, and I know Cassper is just like, yeah, no, I'm going to hit Leantwana Leangoa ikhuluma kakhulu. But I'd be very surprised to actually see someone like SlikeTalk actually win against the Cassper, because I know from my ego point of view, Cassper is going to feel it. I definitely have my money on Cassper, right? But I also just want to place money on SlikeTalk, because I do feel like we are ukushayana. But I also wouldn't be surprised if this fight doesn't go ahead, because ubani ufuna ungena eringini atrapwe I guys, I not even me, hey. And mina I izandla zikhona, but ukuthi ngene ringing with someone, you don't know what that person has planned for you. So I no, it's not for me. Sorry, guys. So yeah, so that is basically what took place this past weekend. And let me know if there's anything else that you want me to, kind of talk about, give my insights on, and what I feel about that particular topic. And yeah, so that is it from me today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, mina ngisayolala phela manje. And I'm assuming whenever you guys get to watch this video, do enjoy. But for me, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.